Jaden Campbell, you beautiful man. I have no idea how on earth you ended up on 75 after being on essentially zero after 20 minutes, 20-ish at halftime. The one week I pod captained, moved away from the normal big three, and I was stewing for basically this whole game. Couldn't believe it. Ruined my whole year. It was already ruined long ago, but it was so frustrating after seeing what Haas had done, May had done. Like, why are you being an idiot? Why are you trying to be smart? Why are you looking for these little edges when you know who's going to get these massive scores? And in the end, it was fine. 75 compared to Haas's 79. I will take that every day of the week. Good lad. I was so sure they were going to take the try off him for the challenge on Fuller, but thankfully they played on and yeah, we're good. We're happy. We're smiling. It's Sunday night. As usual, I'm on my own. Jamie Brown is off gallivanting in the hunt or somewhere drinking wine. You can tell he's checked out. The season's done. Got 6 months. Got 6 months to go on your little wine tours when there's no footy on, but clearly, clearly he's had enough. What can you do? So I'll run through the games from the weekend. There's not a lot of analysis really to be done at this time of year, is there? Nobody's got trades. If you do, you're just going to be telling out people probably who are rested next week, and you just take a flyer on whoever you like and whatever matchup you like. That's all it is at this stage. So let's have a run through. Jaden Campbell, thank you, sir. Trey Fuller, he's so fun. He's going to be expensive next year, but if he gets the that starting fullback job, Hammer plays in the centers, he's going to be fun. So yeah, that's 68 try, two try assists, three line breaks, only the one error, 200 run meters. That's pretty spectacular. Nikarima, one of his better games, 67. Donahue got moved around a little bit and the hammer went off with an eye problem. He had a couple of other issues, so I think he played on the edge for some and then moved back to the middle. 60 points, 72 minutes, all good if you've got him. Katoa, he's just not been it really, has he? The last month or so, 57 with a try and a try assist. He was getting 50s without those kind of stats earlier in the year. But, you'll take it. If you've got him, you'll take it. 57's fine. 12 and negatives. Lots of kick meters, though. So, yeah, just tackles maybe a bit lower. Big Tino, 56 and 58 minutes. You know, 50 in base, 35 tackles, no misses, 150 run meters. Not a lot in terms of tackle breaks, offloads, etc. But, uh, again, if you've got him, basically a PPM. Can't argue with that. Chris Randall, 55. Both Fermor, just just getting these high 40s, early 50s score. I had a look and his last six games, I think his lowest score is 45 and the highest score is 53. So he's just banging this 50 average, just under 50 average. It's just, you know, not really what you wanted from him when a lot of people jumped on when Lucas got hurt. He's lost a fair bit of money the last month. Just it's fine, but not what you wanted, and yeah, we're not one to target at the start for next year for me at least. Anyway, there we go. JMK 43 points when making 45 tackles isn't great. Three misses and nothing else essentially. So yeah, not terrific. Brimson 43 moved out to the centres when Keeney came on. Look good. Look good. Hammer could have been on for a massive one before that eye issue that took him off. Who else is really relevant? Not too many, not too many. Sam Verrills back to earth a little bit. He'd been going really, really well. 4 and 37 with a try. Keeney, he's going to be so cheap next year. They're not going to price him at 22, but Yeah, if he's anywhere around this mark, I think he's going to be in pretty much everyone's team starting next year because like he's just such a live wire. If he's anywhere around 482K, yeah, I think we'll be jumping on. Let's keep moving. Sharks in the Knights. Pretty, eh, no huge scores here. Ronaldo with a hat trick and 65. Jaden Brayley, 59. Made lots of tackles. Sharks just, I mean, Newcastle started well in this game. Sharks came back, but yeah, didn't really translate into some really great fantasy scores. Hines, 57, one singular try assist, 6 goals. Yeah, and when Trindle went off with that ankle problem, I think it was, it started to get excited. It's like, oh, okay, now we're going to get the old Nico, the owning the whole attack Nico. And, maybe we'll see that next week. Like if Trindle there's no reason if he's carrying anything, there's no reason to play him next week. I don't think they can afford to rest. I'll have a look at the fixtures in terms of resting. The Sharks are in kind of a weird position where they are still playing for top four, but by the time their game comes around, it could be meaningless. It kind of depends on what's happening beforehand. So probably need some games to go certain ways if they're going to be going all out to win. So hopefully it'd be nice to see Hines playing. Hines without Trindle could be interesting as well. Just, more kick meters, hands on the ball more could be good. But again, he might not play at all, depending on how things go. My boy, my glorious boy, Bradman Best, 56, in a terrible attacking team, just looks he looks so good in patches. That's the thing with him. And he sucks you in to be off. He just did that every week. He'll be awesome. He could be Herbie. Maybe not quite, but like we know he's got this massive, massive ceiling, and just it's hard to come out in a team with the attacks the way that Newcastle does. But I'll be keeping an eye on him for next year, see what his price is. If he's 550-ish K, I might well start with him again. Averaging 47 though, so I think that's up over 600K. So yeah, he might end up being too expensive, but we'll take a look. I just like watching him play. Um, Saifidi 53. Remember when we were really excited about jumping on him? McEwen 49. Fine if you've got him. Brayley 48. Fanua Blake 47 with a try, a line break try. He's yeah, 18 tackles just isn't it? 18 tackles, 100, just over 100 run meters. These are the games where when you score a try, you're wanting 70s. It's not been what you want from Fanua Blake the last little while, but again, this time of year, like what can you do? We're playing him and that's it. Margie 44 with a try. Hiroti, a few people, including Mr. Brown, jumped on him last week to loop around and we're all hoping for a big one here. Didn't really pay off. Saved the score a little bit with that try. So 41, not the end of the world, but it wasn't looking great for a while. Ero, another one jumped on who didn't score for the first time this year, I believe. 36, yeah, not great, not great at all. Go down here. This is a low one. Kai Pierce-Paul, 29. Just his worst score of the year by a mile. Terrible time for it. 28 tackles I think is his lowest tackle score for the year as well, but that's easy to do when you miss 8 of them. Um, Maybe this updates to something a little bit better, but yeah, it's not what you're looking for at all from Kai Pierce-Paul. So a shame if you've got him, but he's been great. Like he's been great all year. I mean, you have to put up with these low ones occasionally, and we'll get to another supposed gun edge who scored 29 points later on. Dean Gagai back to the centres, back to not scoring very well. And Fletcher Hunt, played at fullback, scored a try, still only got 25. Not great. Let's keep rolling now. Reece Walsh. this was a hard one. If you got on him a few weeks ago, you're absolutely loving life. If you didn't get him, it's a painful watch. He's crushing it. He's crushing it. This is including 89, including five errors, neg 12 in total. Kicking the ball, running the ball, 10 tackle breaks, two or three offloads, two of them at hand, five line break assists, two try assists, five goals, a try. What can you say? What can you say? And this is the same player that everyone was writing off at the start of the year, fantasy wise and some ways, real life wise as well. He just wasn't doing it. People were, and a lot of people jumped on when he was cheap and then he got injured and it kind of sucked. But this is why, right? We know this is in the wheelhouse. And yeah, the team's set up a bit better for him now with Reynolds being out and he's just taking it all on himself. But there's so much talent there that it was so frustrating to watch earlier in the year. And yeah, it was so easy to see why people wanted to jump on at a cheaper price and want to get him now because yeah, he is killing it. Payne Haas, that try as a non-captainer, that try hurt. I thought we were going to get away with a 60 and could make up some points, some ranks elsewhere. But no, big man managed to just bulldoze over 100 people and score. Makes you wonder why he doesn't just do that all the time. Not a whole lot there, like 36 tackle breaks, only one offload to ground, which was why he would have been on the quieter side if it wasn't for that try. But yeah, you know, perfect captain option other than May. But I think he's the guy that you're probably going for if you're not looking to pod up, and yeah, no reason to take it off him. Well, they'll probably almost certainly be playing a full squad next week, I believe, at least to get that top four. Shibasaki, two tries, 65. Too many people are held on to him at this stage. Bateman 56, Stags 53 after being all over the TV all week. Scored a try. Good man. Ruben Cotter 52, Dearden 51. Just a lot of kind of 40, 50 scores in this. Come down to Carrigan and Drinkwater, both on 45s. Carrigan's just not been him, has he, since Origin. I know a lot of people jumped on there and like he's been fine, but like just too much in the 40s rather than the 50s. Doesn't really look to have the big upside. And for me, he was one that I was going, it was really close to getting a few weeks ago, and jumped on Jermaine Hopgood instead for a few reasons. Cheaper, had dual position. Wasn't necessarily expecting him to outscore Carrigan, but he has. So I'm loving life there. Drinky, the drinky roller coaster. Uh, what can you say? Like he's been an interesting buy way back in round 11 or whatever when I picked him up. I was looking through my trades for my year-end review, and like I don't know what I was thinking buying him for the price he was at the time. Well, I do know what I was thinking, but I don't think it was the right decision. But he's been like there's not too many players in this game that can get you 80 minutes. For 8 minutes every week, will get you 15 points one week, 100 points the next. And that's Drinky. Ended up on a 50 average, almost bang on. By next week. We salute you for your service. It's been it's been real, Drinky. It's been real. Uh Ballamy, two tries, 43. Purdue 42, Robson 41. Ben Hunt, I thought Ben Hunt would have scored better since after Reynolds got injured, but I mean Walsh is just doing everything, so there's not not a lot of room for Hunt to pick up too many points. Five missed tackles doesn't help. Not a whole lot of kick meters. 44 run meters. Just yeah, glad I didn't jump on that one that I was kind of considering. And anyone else really? Nanai 22. Five missed tackles, five errors, neck 20. That's not great. He's another one that It's going to be really cheap next year. Can you trust it to get him though? I don't know. Piakura, speaking of being cheap next year, I don't know. There's a player in there somewhere. There's fantasy scores in there somewhere, but will we ever see it? Who knows? Who knows? Let's keep going now. Manly, Daly, Cherry Evans, 92 points, a try, five try assists. That's just insane. No negatives across the board. 92 points. I mean, only an idiot would really have him in his team anyway, and only a crazy idiot would have captained him. So at least not losing too many points to anyone with any sense. But he's his last two rounds. He's going off. He's signing off in style for Manly. So could be you got to like that. Um, there was talk only 2-3 weeks ago. People were talking in the press of does he retire instead of going to the Roosters? Is it over? Has he fallen off the cliff? The last couple of weeks suggest there's some life in the old dog yet. So good on him. Well done, and well done to any crazy psychos who captained him this week as well. Corey Waddell, 70. Damien Cook, big minutes, big points. That's just what it is. 60 tackles. Not a whole lot of anything else, but yeah, he's kind of one that I wish I'd kept hold of. If I'd kept hold of him ahead of bringing in Angus Crichton, I'd be feeling a lot happier about life. But what can you do? It made sense at the time. The money man's back, scoring a try, 59 points. Tommy Turbo, 56 with no tries, no try assists, a couple of line breaks. That's good, right? This was the issue with Turbo earlier on in the year was this type of game where he's not scoring, he was getting, tens, 20s. But he's getting the tackle breaks, 28 run meters. 28 run meters, that'd be bad. 283 run meters with 28 points. Uh, it's not the old Turbo. We'll never see the old Turbo. But if you're getting 56 from your fullback with, no tries, no try assists, you cannot argue with that. Simkin, 55, played 80 minutes. Jack de Belin, Tommy Talau, the legend, the one, the only, the man, the myth, Tommy Talau, 49 points with a try. Good on him. Good on him. LKT, so I had to play King Tonga this week with 47. Yeah, he was my 17th man. Was getting a bit excited when he scored a try. Thought this could be onto something, pretty good, but like I would have taken 47 at the start of the game in a heartbeat. So I am happy enough with that. Peni, 80. I'll get this right. Halangahu. He's just playing himself into being far too expensive next year, but he looks a handy player, doesn't he? They've got a ton of these guys, the Dragons. These young forwards. They've got Egan to come back next year, the Couchmans. It could be a fun young pack. How they share the minutes around, that'll be interesting. Jazz Tavanga, everyone's still rocking with him, 39 points. Jacob Little, 36 and 35. If he ever gets a starting role, I'm sure everybody would be jumping on him, but just not happening. Tolu Kola could have been on for a big one before his injury. 29 and 28 minutes. Hopewadi down to earth with a crash from his big score last week. And, Luke Brooks, 17 and 80 minutes. DCE taking all of the points from the halves. Raiders, Tigers, and give it up for the Raiders. Minor Prems, got it done. That means almost certainly these guys will be the last we'll see of them this year, I reckon, until finals. So Tapani, Hosking, Horsburgh, whoever else, other Raiders people might have kicking around, sign off with a good win and some good scores. Taylor May up the top though, back to back to something approaching his best. 59 tackles for one miss, 121 meters, only a couple of offloads, one turnover, a few tackle busts. Not a whole lot of work in there, but well, no, not a whole lot of work. That's not the right word. Not a whole lot of extras in there. But when you're getting 71 in base, 69 if you take off the missed tackle, it's easy to rack up those big scores. So, if he could still be that captain option if you want for the final round. Had a Young back to a big score. Horsburgh 67 with a try. Appy 63, another one. You could see the tackles being made in this game. So for the Tigers, May 59, Appy 61, 12 52. And then on the other side for the Raiders, Horse 35, Hosking 34, Tapani only 29, Hudson Young 31. You could see where the ball was, who had the ball more often than not. But Appy 63, Hosking doing Hosking things. That's if he plays 80 minutes, he scores well. We know who he is as a fantasy guy. He's getting a few breaks in terms of Sasangi coming into the centers to start the game, giving him the 80 minutes, whereas normally you'd expect a spell there, but just a very clean game. 34 tackles, no misses, few tackle busts, one offload, 100 run meters, a try saver. That's Zach Hosking doing Zach Hosking things. And Taps saved his score a little bit towards the end. He was going fine, but not great. And then he got that. So I think the line break try assist in the one play. 29 tackles for no misses is fine, but yeah, just not a whole lot of traffic for them to be making the bulk tackles. 160 run meters, only -2 for an error. So Taps, you've done a job. Thanks, mate. And good luck in the finals. 12, 60, 68 minutes. Again, tons of tackles for those Tiger forwards. All of the fines linked together, 46, 46, 44. Latu back to reasonability, back to playable scores, replacing Dewey. If you've still got him, he's somebody that you can, you're forced to play him, or you're forced to play him next week. Hopefully get some decent scores. Much better than Luai down to 31. You kind of expected him to step up a bit with no Dewey, but just not happening. Just not happening for him. It's weird. He's the guy. He's their big money half. I think he'd be taking the game on and just doesn't seem to be doing it. Fogg's 42 with 2 try assists. That's not great. 6 missed tackles. He had that try called back, which would have helped things, would have helped him out a bit. Again, hasn't been killing it too much recently. Again, does he play next week? I'd probably expect not. So yeah, what can you do? Sasangi 36 with a try. Big Papa 33. Taylor May back to a lower score. He's been going really well. Toa 31, Bula 29. Not a whole lot of relevancy, and it'd be good to see Tamale back. He didn't really do very much. 11 points in 80 minutes. Not sure too many people would have jumped on, but yeah, just good to see him fit, and hopefully he can rev up for those final campaign. Now, here we go. My boy, my beautiful, beautiful boy, Marky Mark, Nawanga Lassie, 4 tries, 4 line breaks, 160 run meters, couple of offloads, couple of tackle busts, only one error, 79 points. What a guy. That's it just makes you wonder. I don't know why. And you can look at Daniel Tupou's score, 27 with no ball whatsoever. I just go to Mark's side every time. Just keep going. That's and the Rob Toya on that side with a 60, getting that try from just standing in Mark's spot. Don't know why Mark was in field and you were on the wing. Could have been another one. But yeah, that whole right side was just absolutely on fire in the second half. Absolutely dominant for the Roosters. It did not. I mean, they thought they had a chance of winning the game with the Storm restings. Didn't expect this, especially not at halftime. I think Mark was on about 10, and then they just kicked off. Teddy, if anybody had wanted to take a gamble on captaining him, then he's in that 70 odd, that mid 70s. Range, a try, two try assists, nine tackle busts. This is just Teddy being Teddy. Everyone owns him though, so you can't get too excited. But yeah, it's just nice to see. Bradley 60, Savala 60 for those holding on 60. So five scores over 60 for the Roosters before we get into any of the Storm players, which is Bloor for his 54. Nath White, point a minute, 54 essentially. Only 31 tackles, but no misses, no negatives. A few tackle busts in there, so 54, you'll take that. Wishart, 46, he's going okay. He's getting these rests, which see is kind of weird. You don't expect your halves to get these 12, 15-minute rests, but I think they want to get some game time into Pezzett. So yeah, if you've got him, he's done, he's done great, right? From the price he was, he's done fine. This is in the kind of that middling okay range that you kind of expect with him. Siwa Wong, 44 and 42 minutes for that try. For those that have him, you will take that from a bench forward any day. Cam Munster, back to this is the type of scores he was racking up at the start of the year. The missed tackles were a killer, and back again, neg 14 just on missed tackles. Hurts, not a lot of kick meters, not a lot of run meters, just nothing kind of going their way. In this one, Stefano, kind of lower one again, 36. Then you're into Connor Watson and Angus Crichton. What's gone on there? Watson, this is probably what you expect now. I mean, where was this at the start of the year when I didn't have him and he was killing me? Just meh. Look, I mean, this is just kind of what what he's done the last month. So you can't be too surprised or upset. It's just, frustrating if you got him a couple of months ago for 700 and whatever K probably was at the time and just not doing it. Just not doing it. And then same with Crichton. 18 tackles. I mean, only one missed tackle, three penalties. He was getting riled up and giving away stupid penalties. But 18 tackles, under 100 run meters, like get involved, mate. What are you doing? I know there was a lot of points in this, and a lot of it was going to the other side. But come on, you're better than this. You're better than this. Tupou again, just not getting the ball uh, in that second half. Pezzett, Sandin, yeah, I mean it's all just kind of rush past Zavala, but without Sam Walker, he's awesome. And that play with him and that link up to Mark on the right hand side, I'd be happy enough to see Walker. I haven't heard anything for Walker, whether he'll be back next week, but I'd be happy to see him just get another week's rest, get up for finals and keep go running with Savala. And yeah, Pappenhausen 19, another one. Again, not a lot going for them. Paps has these games in him. He's kind of in that drinky mold as well, where he'll drop a 19 out of the blue. So last game, I think Jamie covered the Bulldogs Panthers, so I'll try and run through this one quickly. Some three nice scores at the top here. Roger, Boyd, Halasima, 69s across the board. Halasima, 69 and 46 minutes, two tries. I'm really hoping for him to just keep lowering that average, get him cheap for next year if he gets that starting edge role. But he just keeps killing it. So maybe he ends up being too expensive. We'll see. But yeah, that's an absolute gun. Tanner Boyd, probably his best game, certainly fantasy wise. Since coming into the team, but just couldn't quite get them over the line. Williams had a great year, 64. My boy Hopgood, 63, 80 minutes. I don't know where the 80 minutes Hopgood came from, but I will certainly take it. He's just not doing anything other than tackle. That's the kind of, I mean, like, I'm not complaining with 63 minutes. Sorry, 63 points in 80 minutes, but no tackle busts, no offloads, less than 100 run meters. Maybe that was the game plan. It's like, right, look, we're going to play 80 men's, just tackle everything in sight. And that's all we're really asking of you. And like they won the game. So can't argue with that. And I will take this version of Jermaine Hopgood 80 minutes next week as well, please. Pompey 62, Moses 59, better from him. Iongi, he's going to be he's going to be a player. 59, two tries, good stuff. Fisher Harris 54, kind of better from him PPM wise. Aaron Clark, low minutes. I mean, everyone's got him pretty much, but yeah, he's feels like he's maybe limping to the finish line a little bit. They they they've banged him some big minutes throughout the year, and maybe it's taken its toll. Maybe they're just resting him up for finals. We'll see. But yeah, 48 minutes isn't really what you're looking for. Kelma 43, Lomax 41. Where are we? Joash 37. If you're having to play him, that's fine. Uh, Anything else really relevant? Probably not. Wade Egan, lower minutes, 32. Not good there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. And then Talon De Silva with his 2 points in 16 minutes. Now, I might need you next week, Talon. So let's try and get up to 10 points next week. Can you? Do you think we can? Well, I don't know. I don't know. Right, that covers that. We'll have a quick look at my team. I was really, really sweating it. Let's have a refresh. Has there been any updates? No. When Campbell was on 20 points at halftime, I was just swearing blind, but he came through. The team came through, 1,074. Not quite as good as last week, but made another, let's call it 500 ranks. Things will um, change around a bit in updates, but I'll take that. And we've got one trade left for next week. Can we get in the top 2,000? I kind of hope so. I think there'll be a lot of teams playing short. So there's some room there to make up some ranks. Got some money in the bank. Uh, we'll see. I think the only people I didn't talk about, Kiraz, so he'll be out next week. Drinky will be out next week. Lockie Galvin, he was on just about 50 at half time. I thought we could have got a real massive killer score off him. I was pretty disappointed. We'd have taken 57 at the start of the game, but disappointed we ended up down there. But yeah, for next week, Kiraz out, Drinkwater out. Tapine, I assume, is going to be out. De Silva might as well be out based on what he's going to give you. I'm hoping Katoa will be back. Yo, Cleary. Expect has to play. Mark Galvin. I think the Bulldogs, they could rest, but they also feel like they kind of need to get their attack and their team in a bit better order. So I think they might play. Maybe they'll rest a couple, but I expect it'll be a um fairly full strength team that they put out there. So yeah, like assuming Carraz is out, Drinky's out, Tap and he's going to be out, De Silva's out. If everyone else plays that 17, and then I've got a trade to make to improve things, to loot, and gives me a little bit of leeway if somebody else does drop out. And yeah, maybe we're ending up playing De Silva for 10 points or hope for 10 points, but that might be better than other people playing 16, 15. So um let's have a quick look. So in terms of the ladder, and this is where I'm, thinking of in terms of who's going to play, who's not going to play. Raiders locked in the minor premier. No reason for them to play their guys. I just don't think there's any real world where they play a full strength team next week. Maybe we get lucky and get some guys for lower minutes, but I don't think so. Storm, they are locked in with the differential. Yeah, they're locked in at second. They will probably rest a few that didn't rest this week. But like Katoa coming back in, it'll be good. Talk Jerome Hughes might be back for a head out before finals. So that could be interesting. But yeah, hit or miss with the Storm guys. Bulldogs, again, yeah, locked into third. Probably no, I mean, there's no reason for them to play their guys other than just trying to find that bit of form. So I do expect them to be fairly full strength, but in saying that, yeah, maybe they'll like suppressed and get a week off or at the least get reduced minutes. I guess we'll wait and see. The interesting one is the battle for the top four. So Broncos, Sharks, Warriors, all in theory still in it, but Broncos play the first game of the round. So if the Broncos win with that points differential, essentially it means the Sharks and Warriors are out of it. And they're going to be locked into fifth and sixth. So what does that mean for them resting? So, if the Broncos lose, then they'll be going, then they will want to win. If the Broncos win, does that mean restings comes into it? So, the Sharks play the last of these teams. They could be in a position where if the Broncos win, the Warriors win, or yeah. Basically, it could be a question for the Sharks of do they want to avoid the Panthers? There could be this world where the Roosters overtake the Panthers. Would the Sharks rather come sixth and play the Roosters than come fifth and play the Panthers? Now, I'm sure they're not going to be doing anything stupid in terms of trying to not win the match. But does that play into the restings? Benua Blake, Hines, those guys. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's kind of tricky for them. The Warriors as well, Aaron Clark. If they're not challenging for the top four, are they going to be ruled out? So these are the ones we're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see. Panthers, I imagine, are back to playing full strength. Roosters, I mean, they're pretty much locked in there. So the Dolphins, this hasn't updated. Yeah, Dolphins were up on 28. So there's differential to play with Roosters and Dolphins. When did those guys play next week? So Roosters play first. So Roosters will want to win. And it's the Bunnies at home. So they'll want to win anyway. So Roosters, I don't see resting. And then the Dolphins, I mean, look, if they'll just probably need to play. Anyway, they'll either need to win to make finals or won't play finals. So what's the point in resting guys? So I think for them, you'll probably see full strength teams, and yeah, everyone else wouldn't expect too many restings. Where do we have at the bottom of the league? Titans, Knights for the spoon. Who are they playing? Titans play Tigers. Oh, where are we going? Yeah, that's right. Knights, Parramatta, the last game. So they'll be Titans. Hopefully, will be going for it to try and avoid the spoon. And yeah, Broncos Storm. That's the game that's going to define the rest of the week. I think might have implications in the players who's playing, but it does mean that the Broncos will, I assume, play everyone. So Haas, captain, none of this messing around with pod captains who give you heart attacks and have you panicking for 70 minutes in an 80-minute game. All right. I think I probably waffled on longer than I wanted to, but yeah, that'll do. We'll call it a day. One more week. One more week. And then we can have a nice long break and then spend 6 months worrying about, oh, I wonder how much this guy's going to cost. And oh, is he going to be cheap or is he going to be too expensive? Ah, the glories of being addicted to a stupid game. All right. Thanks, everybody. See ya. Goodbye.